famous and respected poems, Seven Stages of Man. What Shakespeare tries to depict from this poem is the basic cycle of life, how life progresses from the initial stages of infancy right to the other phases of life, which include the stages of being a rebel, being a lover, being a parent, and eventually leading to his or her inevitable demise. So as I apply this poem into my life on a realistic basis, it starts 20 years back when I was observing how my parents raised my younger brother. My younger brother was, or my only brother, my younger and only brother, was one of the most notorious and rebellious kids you'd ever meet. And I'm sure people in the audience who know him can vouch to that fact for me.
Yes.
I remember days when my parents would go to formal functions, my dad all dressed up in ties and suits, and my mom all dressed up as well. And I was a kid then, and I was actually a very quiet kid, would sit in one place, wouldn't say much. So my parents put me in one seat, and I'd actually sit there the whole night. But my brother, on the other hand, was a very fidgety and restless person, a kid, who used to literally run around all the time, from place to place, and beat up kids, break things, touch things, and do a lot of stuff. My dad would literally have to remove his tie and run after him the whole night, taking turns with my mom. This is what happened pretty much every single day. And that was just a brief insight as to how notorious he was. The other examples are wrestling is actually a banned sport to be watched on TV in our house even to this date, because my brother was actually almost was one of the few kids at that time to be almost expelled from kindergarten for tombstoning a kid in his class. Now, for those people who don't know what a tombstone is, it's this signature wrestling move which is extremely difficult to execute, and it's extremely dangerous. And I have no idea how he did it, but he did it. My parents had to coax and had to go to the principal and so on and pretty much get him out of that. But yes, that was one. He also played a very key part in figuratively blasting one of my wobbly teeth off by swinging a yo-yo at my face. Playpens were just a decorative tool in our house. My parents would try to keep him in one place by putting him in this playpen. But he was a really smart and creative kid. He always found a way to climb, and he was only 1-2 years old. He always found a way to crawl and climb out of the playpen. I, on the other hand, was 7, and I used to jump into the playpen, and within seconds he'd jump out of it, and I'd be left stranded not knowing how to get out of it. I mean, that was the difference. But there is a reason as to why I'm saying all this. The reason is, regardless of all those facts, my parents were patient, and so caring, that they decided to just wait off the storm and wait for the fruits to reap. And to this day, it's extremely right, because my brother, to this day, is actually one of the most successful, mature, and down-to-earth people you'd ever meet. Completely transformed from that point to what he is today. And I believe it's because of my parents' patience and influences which actually made him be the person that he is today. And that honestly is the path of life. We all go through these stages in life. So from that point of infancy, we come to the adolescent stage where, most of us, and I'm talking to the guys out there, but this may apply to some girls, we think we're it sometimes. We want to go for a fight, and all for trivial matters like a girl or maybe a guy, I don't know, and, or a car. Trivial small matters where you just want to throw your fists around and just start a fight. I honestly have friends to this day and I'm 24 years old. I have friends to this day who are older to me who are still stuck in that phase. But eventually, we all pass through that adolescent phase, that immature phase, where we come to the maturity level, where we just see past through all that. And from that phase, that rebellious phase, we come to one of my most favorite phases, which is the stage full of excitement, stage in which you pretty much find the one, your soulmate, your partner in life, true love, as to say. Is it that? I don't know. I think it is. I'm a strong believer of that. In my culture, I come from a background where arranged marriages is the custom. But I am a strong non-believer of that. I believe that one of the main purposes and objectives in life is to get out there into the world, interact and mingle with the many people out there, and eventually when you find that one, the one that actually makes you hesitant and makes time slow by, or butterflies in the stomach, you know, this fairy tales, Cinderella story stuff. But you know, it does happen. I mean, I actually have gone through that. I am going through that. I might probably get engaged next year. I think. I don't know. But sometimes, when you feel that, when you find that one person who you can actually just speak anything to, and you just yourself, who fits your ideologies, and who fits your criteria in life, and your parents' criteria, family criteria, that journey of finding true love, as to say, is one of the most beautiful things that you'd ever experience in life. Something which you cherish, and something which you take to your grave, honestly. And so from that point, from that mushy point, we get to the marriage point where, okay, let's say you get married and all kids and stuff, you become a parent. The parenthood phase, where you start becoming an adult, where you become an adult basically, and you earn for your kids, you discipline them, and you pretty much live in the footsteps of your parents. But the most important point about the parenthood phase is that the love that you have for your kids is the purest and most divine form of love that you would ever be able to experience in your lifetime. It's different to any sort of love. It's different to the love that you have for your Xbox. It's different sort of love that you would have for some random girl walking on the road. It's different to even true love. The love that you have as a parent to your kids. I'm not a father yet, and I don't honestly see myself being a father anytime soon. But Toastmasters actually has seen me carry a kid. It's extremely ridiculous and ludicrous. But eventually, like I said, we're all walking down the path of life. And eventually we'll all have to go through all these phases. A lot of people ask me, what is my definition of life? It may be surprising to you. I mean, I used to be very humorous, but this is my philosophical side. Life, as I see it, is like a lake where we're actually going by the journey, we're journeying through it. And as we journey through it, we come across many tributaries, which we may choose to take or not take. Sometimes when we take a tributary or a path, if we make a wrong turn, if we make a wrong mistake, we can actually take a U-turn and go back to the place where we started from. But sometimes we're impelled to go on that same path and see where it takes us. But our aim is to eventually hit the ocean which is real life, where the opportunities are endless and brimming with excitement and adventure. A lot of people, unfortunately, end up only in these tributaries or in these paths stuck in one place. As I see, and the way to actually reach that ocean, in my opinion, is to be someone big, someone in life. To be someone in life, you need to have great vision, great ambition, and a great plan. As I look at all of you people here, are my fellow Toast Yacht members, we all have amazing potential, and we all have the potential to make a change in that small way that we can. Anyone's got the power to be great. It just all lies in the mind. And at the end of it all, our 7 ages will eventually come to an end. But it doesn't just come to an end. If you look closely, our parents have actually reached a certain level. And we actually work up to that level and surpass it and be better. Hence our legacy continues with our next generation and the generation after that. Whatever our lives may have in store for us, it is important for us all to have a clear idea on what our goals are and where we want to end up at. In my opinion, the secret to actually leading a successful and honest life is very simple. To dress properly, to be an honest and kind man, kind person, to have a great vision, to have great ambition, and to be confident in yourself and in your words. After all, we all but live once, but in this one life that we have, let's all try to do something great. Let's all try to do something different and live life to the max. Because at the end of it all, we should not leave regrets in those final breaths of life. So in my final meeting that I would have with you guys, it's a sad day, obviously, but I really enjoyed myself. Final meeting, I would like to leave you all with some favorite words of mine, which comes from Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother. It's very wise words if you actually look into it. He constantly says, so let's suit up and be awesome and be legend. Wait for it, dare you.